Josh here doing a deck profile for a Don Yugioh gaming channel. I haven't been around to do his locals in a while because I moved, but I found new locals up in where I'm living at now, and for the past 2 weeks I've gone undefeated with Madolches. I'm sorry if the video quality isn't the greatest. The arm I have and the camera is not necessarily the best, but we're going to do what we can. Alright, but to start off here, we're going to go over the main deck stuff. It's going to be pretty standard Madolche stuff here. So for the Madolche stuff, I'm running 3 Madolche Anjelly. I'm running 3 Madolche Petingcessoeur. I'm potentially thinking about cutting it down to 2 because it, with the stuff in here, it can sometimes be sort of a dead draw, especially if you're in a situation where you're top decking or something. I'm playing 2 Hootcake. I think 2 is the perfect number. 1 just sometimes isn't enough, depending on what your opponent's playing, and then 3 can sometimes be too much as well. 2 Messengelato, you never run to one more or less, but it is the garnet of the deck. And same thing for Puddingcess. It's just keep it at 1, never any more, never any less. For what I'm doing. And then I run 1 Chateau, 1 Promenade, and 1 Salon. I thought about playing Ticket, but I just never have come across a situation where I need Ticket for any reason. So I just played at this. I thought about playing 2 Promenade and taking out maybe a Petingcessoeur for a Promenade, but again, that's what I'd take out a Petingcessoeur for, is another Promenade. That is it for the Madolche main cards. And then, just like running a Vernusylph package, just like any Earth deck, like Fairy deck especially should. We got 3 of the Duck, 3, I like to call this Wanda, this Cosmo, because of the pink and green hair. We do Flourishing Hills and Awakening Forests. Some people run the Bear because, you know, you can still use it to like draw a card or whatever, but I don't use it personally. I just stick with these 7. And this is why Petingcessoeur can be kind of a dead draw sometimes because of these, but still played. Over to just cards in general. I run 2 Proud of Prosperity. I think 2 is fine. The deck's pretty consistent as it is, and it's just sometimes 3. I just don't ever see a need for 3. 2 is fine in my opinion. I also play 3 Small World because I can search anything in the deck with it. I might potentially cut it. They're kind of just placeholders right now because I am running a small Bystial package, which is just 1 Magnamhut and 1 Druiswurm, because that's all I have. Otherwise, I would definitely play 3 Magnamhuts and 1 Druiswurm. And then I only have 1 Kashtira Fenrir. I would definitely run 3 of these, again, in place of the Small Worlds. I also am playing Pankratops until I get, you know, more Fenrirs, but this is almost a better Fenrir anyways. And then I'm playing 1 Barrier Statue of the Drought, because if your opponent can't summon an Earth monster, like special summon an Earth monster, sometimes they just can't do anything and you just win the game from there anyways. A lot of times you get that card. You can Small World into it, but usually what I do is I use Awakening Forest and then Teacher Glass Souffle later just to get it back into my hand and then normal summon it for the turn. for hand traps and stuff like that. I'm playing 2 Herald of Wormslight. Again, almost everything is fairy except for just a couple cards. And I know the Vernusylphs lock you into earth monster effects, but during your opponent's turn or during your first turn, this card is just absolutely amazing, and you can just continuously recur it off of Teacher Glass Souffle anyways, and it not only negates, but it also destroys, so it gets rid of their monster too. And then these next ones, I'm playing 3 crossouts, so I'm playing some one-ofs. Even if they're in your hand and you don't see if you don't see crossout, but you still see these in your hand, they're still good to use anyways. So I'm playing an Ash Blossom, a Veiler, 1 Imperm, and 1 Nibiru. During my last tournament, I went 3-0, mostly because of crossout to stop Nibiru, an Ash Blossom, and a Veiler in 3 separate games. So they always came up. I also stopped some other stuff too, but I did that in the side, which I'll go over the side at the end. That's it for the main deck. It's exactly 40 cards. And then for my extra deck, I'm playing 3 Teacher, because she's just like one of the best she's just one of the best enablers for the deck. She also gets rid of, your opponent's graveyard. It allows you to recycle any of your hand traps, and she's just way too good. The next, I play 3 Tiaramisu. You can easily get away with running 2. I mean, with a Rise Heart, Kashtira Rise Heart being at 1, your extra deck isn't as vulnerable as it used to be. But I still like to play 3 because I've needed 3 before, and it just happened to come up. And I know you can use them to recycle each other, but I found it better for me, personally, just to play 3. It allowed me to recycle other resources instead of being forced to recycle her. And then I only play 2 Chocolat-a-la-Mode because that's all you need. And then I play 2 Sistart. Most people only played 1, but it came up in a situation in a game where this was definitely needed at 2 more than once, to where I needed materials in the graveyard to be able to use Tiaramisu, and I was able to use a previous Tiaramisu plus 1 fresh Sistart to get more materials in the graveyard to be able to use a second Tiaramisu and let me shuffle away 4 cards my opponent had and that was that won me the game. Without a second fresh Sistart, I wouldn't have been able to go in, get it done. Especially since Petingcessoeur locks you into Madolche monsters, so you can't. It's really hard to get them into the graveyard otherwise. And then for other Link monsters I also play 1 Donner, just a good card. It's a lot of this stuff in the deck is we have Beast, Warrior, and Fairies, and I actually don't play the Spellcaster, which is what some people might talk about, and I'll explain why I don't run Mageline anymore. But yeah, 1 Donner, and then I play 1 Underworld Goddess, the Closed World, because white woman, strong. I've outed some boss monsters with this thing so many times. We got 1 person at the local that played Dragoons, and I outed the Dragoons with Underworld Goddess, so yeah, it happens. I also play Bagooska, because if they stop your plays and you don't have any follow-up and you can go into Bagooska, it's Bagooska. You'll survive until next turn, probably. Unless they have some form of way to out it, like a Kaiju or an Imperm or something like that. You're usually pretty good. I also play 1 Exciton Knight. This actually came up because my opponent was playing a trap heavy deck, and they let the effect resolve for some reason. And so I just basically cleared, you know, the board and stuff like that, and was able to combo off from there for free. So I don't know why, but it was against a Labyrinth player, and I guess they didn't really have much, because whatever they would have summoned would have just gone to the graveyard anyways. So, and then they don't take any damage for the rest of the turn off of this card, but again, it's like using Prosperity. You're probably not gonna OTK him from there anyways. And then the one obligatory Zeus, because Zeus is Zeus, and we predominantly play Exceeds. Alright. And that's it for the extra deck. And then for the side deck, 3 Book of Eclipse. This came in handy against Traptrix and Kashtira. And there was another deck it came in handy because they were playing another link focused deck. It was and they couldn't link off their monsters because you can't link face down monsters. So this came quite handy. This one came in handy most against the Trap Trick deck because they couldn't get into Sarah. And then I play 3 evenly matched because this card's not banned for some reason. It's a really strong board clear, especially for any going second kind of thing. I usually go first with Madolches, even though, you know, I do play quite a bit going second cards, but I generally go first just to set up the barrier statue lock. But if I know for sure I'm going second, I definitely side in evenly matches. Again, I've cleared many a back row with this. And then play 3 Droll and Lockbird. Again, Droll is really good in this format because a lot of stuff is just add. And I can also use it as a cross-out target if somebody drolls me. So those are in there. This saved me against the Trap Tricks deck as well. It also saved me against the Kashtira, and it also, believe it or not, stopped Crystal Beast deck from comboing off. And then I play 2 more Nibiru just to play the 3, depending on what my opponent's playing. If they're playing, again, it's still a good card, especially if they're playing a super special deck, like special summon heavy deck. And then my next ones are kind of weird. Some more one-ofs for like cross-out target, depending on what my opponent's playing and stuff. So I have Ghost Ogre. I have 1 Lightning Storm. The reason I'm only playing 1 Lightning Storm is because I've still come across people using it, even at 2, and I've used Crossout for it once, and again, it just worked. Anti-Spell Fragrance, because Sky Striker, if I had more than 1 Anti-Spell Fragrance, I would probably cut the Lightning Storm altogether. And then I'm playing 1 Kumungus the Sticky String Kaiju because it's an Earth, and I can go into I can get it with Small World, so it's a searchable Kaiju for me. Once I take out the Small Worlds, once I get the more Bystials and Kashtira Fenrirs, I'm probably going to take out the Kumungus. But yeah, that's it for the side deck. And then I don't, like what I was talking about earlier with the Madolches, is that I know some people, quite a few people actually still run Madolche Messengelato, but I actually don't run it because I have 2 dedicated normal summons in the form of Madolche Anjelly and also the barrier statue, which if I start out with Anjelly and Salon, or like I get Salon through my combo, but if I only have Anjelly in my hand, that's my normal summon. And I can combo off from there. If I just have Anjelly, but I already have like monsters in my, if I have Anjelly, that's fine. If I have Mageline, but I have monsters in my graveyard, I just normal summon Anjelly and the combo stops there, because no matter what I search and I don't have a double summon of some sort, I can't do anything with it. So unfortunately, it's just not as good. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck profile. If you guys have any questions or anything, you can put them down in the comments below. If anything, any ideas that you might have, or anything else, just again put it in the comments and we'll go through it later. Thank you guys. Peace.